Welcome to San Bernardino. Little League Baseball Regionals action continues. We got to figure out who's the best in the West. The Arizona squad, represented by Chandler National Little League, versus Hawaii, represented by Kapa'a Community Little League. This should be a good one. It usually is when action is coming from this region. A closer look at the West. 3 states represented. 4 teams are here. Already had action in the West earlier this afternoon, but 4 of these teams, one of them will make it to Williamsport to represent the West in the Little League World Series. South California, by the way, beat Northern California 16-4, so the winner of this one will face the squad from Southern California. A beautiful and warm day in San Bernardino. Some things to keep in mind. 4 teams, these kids are 10 to 12 years old. Games run 6 innings in regulation, and it's Little League. There is continuous batting order 1 through 12 for both squads. It's great to have you with us, Troy Clary, Jared Mitchell, and you coming to you from Al Hotton Stadium. Jared, the West usually produces some of the better ball clubs that are still playing on this level. Very intrigued to see what both Arizona and Hawaii bring to the table today.
Yeah, they got some very good ball clubs. It's traditionally been a great region to come here in the San Bernardino Regional. Listen, these 2 clubs here today getting their first opportunity to get a chance to face Southern Cal. You're going to see great arms on the mound today. You're going to see a lot of competition, and I can't wait to get this one started.
You've got the Hawaii batting order right there on your screen. Jared, you're especially keeping an eye on the young man at the top.
Young man at the top, Koga. He is an impressive ball player, and by word of all of their team and their coaches, he is the silent assassin. But make no mistake, he is a great ball player, and this game is loud, and it's going to need to be loud today.
Looking forward to seeing what this young man does on the mound. Mason Muller can throw 83 and hit the ball a country mile. That's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, it is said that he is one of the best in the country at this age group, and Mason is a show, and you're going to get to see something special on the mound today. This Hawaii team is going to have to keep these swings very small because the velo is real, the arm is very easy, and he is going to fill up the strike zone. This should be a fun one to watch today.
Another warm day at San Bernardino in August. Temperatures near triple digits as we begin on a sunny Sunday afternoon in Southern California. Hawaii, Arizona, away we go. Enjoy the game, everybody. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike on Kapa'a. When he's not on the ball field, you can either catch him fishing or at the beach. Neither of those are bad ways to go.
It's the right weather to be doing both of those right now, but he is in the ballpark, towing it up right here in the box, and already watching him too. I really like his ability, and you can see the attempt of trying to keep this swing as small as possible, understanding what he's facing on the mound.
Fires that one on the outside half, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, at this age, if he can locate that fastball, he is going to be a problem for anybody that's getting in the box against him.
It's a bit high. Catcher Gabe Jones wants an appeal to first base umpire Greg Anderman, but does not get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gabe just had the most polite appeal I've ever seen right there. I like that. That was very nice.
Foul off. Count stays at 2-2.
Tell you what, it's only 4 pitches, and I get that. When you have a kid that's willing to get in the box and fight someone with that kind of velo at this age, it's a huge help for a team.
Velo and size, too. 6'1"?
Yes.
At age 12?
And you're seeing Kapa'a just standing there, not bail out, taking good swings, taking quality at bats, and taking the fight to Mason on the mound.
Got him. And to throw the first 4 to put out. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. So that brings up Colton Panui.
Gets 6 straight heaters from Mason in the first breaking ball. He's able to snap it off, start that thing in the bottom half of the zone and make it dip below the zone. That shows you so much feel and ability at the age of 12 and why he's so highly regarded already.
Bit more information on Colton there on your screen. First pitch is outside for ball one. Colton's dad, Kaili, is the manager of the squad. There's Mason. That one just misses 2-0. Kauai Community Little League from Kapa'a, Hawaii, on the island of Kauai. Billy's son is heading to count 3-0. Fouls it off, 3-1.
Shows you the kind of baseball that's played there, man. It's you know what you got on the mound. He gets to 3-0. All of those pitches have been nowhere close, and they still gave him the green light and said, let's go get it. I believe in you. Go get your opportunity here. We're not going to walk to a win. I want to see you go get hits.
Doesn't connect there, 3-2. Just underway here. Winner will face Southern California. Tries inside, misses. That's ball four. That didn't miss by much.
Not much at all. Really good pitch. Even better eye by Colton. And Hawaii's got base runners.
At first, Wanka Doctolero now at the plate. We will see him on the mound for Hawaii in the bottom of the first inning. Sends that one screaming down the first base line, but foul.
Just a really solid Hawaiian ball club, man. You can see it already just with 3 hitters in. There's no one stepping in the bucket. There's no one bailing out of the box. They're all taking very compact, short swings. They just haven't caught up to the fastball yet.
0-2. Mason Mower can throw 83 miles an hour, and apparently he put that up, posted it on the socials. One of the coaches on the team said, hey, that's great, you can throw 83, but that pitch was a ball.
Nothing like a little slice of humble pie, huh?
Panui on the move. He is in. One ball and 2 strikes to count. And Panui now at second. Doctolero at the plate. Got him. Second strikeout of the half inning.
Got a little grunt there from Mason, and yeah, I mean that fastball is very lively. You can tell he spins it very well. So even the pitches that he throws up, they feel like they're coming down. They don't come down. It's just a lot to handle, a lot to deal with from one of the best 12-year arms you're going to find out there in the country.
Here comes Nahoa Carvalho Breed to the plate. Lashes that one foul. 0-1. Nahoa hit the go-ahead grand slam in the top of the 6th inning against Central East Maui in the state tournament. And these young men had to kind of go through a road through the Hawaii state tournament. It wasn't easy.
Not at all. Lost game 1, right?
Yep. Skips off of Gabe Jones's glove, and Panui now heads over to third. Lost the first game of the state tournament to Honolulu Little League, which is in one of the powerhouse programs in that state. They lost that one in 7 innings, but then rebounded, got to the championship where they had to face Honolulu Little League. They beat them the first time around in 7 innings, 1-0, and then beat them to punch their tickets here to San Bernardino, 3-2 to final.
And that was their first state title since 1990. So you can imagine that the entire community had to be behind them and feeling it and been all bought in for what they're doing right now.
A lot of them are here.
Travel well.
Making the trip from the islands up this way. 1990, that was a long time ago. Kind of hammer pants, my British Knights.
I was, yeah. What are you trying to say right now? You trying to call me old?
I'm calling me old. Oh, fouls that one off. Count stays at 1 and 2. This is turning into a good battle here. With the runner at third, Panui walked. Eventually advanced over to third. There he is, left of your screen. Time called. Gabe Jones, the catcher, heading out to the mound for a brief moment. The 1-2 pitch. Tries inside, misses. Count goes to 2 and 2.
Just wasn't able to break it back over the plate. Good job. That breaking ball backed up just a little bit and kind of stayed inside.
The 2-2. Count full.
It's a good job in the box of being able to hold off there on that breaking ball, and you get yourself into another count and making Mason have to go out there and execute again.
He swings and misses, and Mason screams to the heavens and leaves the runner stranded at third. Took 25 pitches, but Muller gets it done. Hawaii 0, Arizona coming to bat. About to get going, bottom of the first inning between Hawaii and Arizona. The young lads from Chandler National Little League in Arizona, representing the Grand Canyon State. Here is their batting order. At the number 3 spot, we've already seen what he can do on the mound, and we're about to see what Mason can do at the plate here momentarily.
No doubt about it. All eyes are on Mason in this situation. Obviously, you saw him strike out the side after giving up a walk, but the power's real, the ability's real, and watching him play, it's also still easy. It's all real easy, so it'd be interesting to see how he comes out and how is he able to spark this team on this side of the ball as well.
White got Dr. Lero on the mound for Hawaii.
And Dr. Lero is one of their guys, right? He is one of the biggest and strongest kids that this Hawaii team features. He's the guy that when they see him on the mound, they watch him. He has tunnel vision. He's very focused. He's all into what he's doing. And he's going to need every bit of that to keep up with what Mason Mueller's doing on the other side.
And Waika said that his highlight from the season was his pitching improvement. He thought that his pitching got better as the season went along.
And that's probably a big reason as to why he's getting the ball in this all-important game 1 for them, to be able to get themselves into that winner's bracket, to get that break, to get that opportunity to not have to go through a loser's bracket early on, is why he's getting this chance today.
Winner plays Southern California on Tuesday. The other team falls into the elimination bracket, and they'll have to get right back at it against Northern California tomorrow afternoon. Arizona stepping up to the plate. Rylan Schrader, first up. There's a bit more on Rylan. Favorite TV shows, The Price is Right. Okay.
The Price is Right, and loves Twister.
A new car.
Rylan is the speedster on this club, so if he gets on or he puts balls in play, he is one that wreaks havoc on what you do defensively. You're going to have to get it and let go of it. Let's see if he can put one in play and kind of get things started for this Chandler ball club.
First pitch paints the outside corner, 0-1.
I smell a pitcher's duel coming on today. I just kind of feel like we may have one of those.
Potentially, it's possible. Certainly the talent appears to be there on both sides. Both of these respective teams.
We got two very clean deliveries from both of the starting pitchers here today. It's almost they're a little bit advanced beyond their age right now, and it's pretty cool to watch.
Goes around, strike 3. So one batter down. Brings up Barrett Shaughnessy. Valero gets congratulations from the rest of his infield. There's Barrett. Barrett's favorite team is the Las Vegas Raiders, probably for good reason. His dad, Matt, was a former defensive lineman. Spent an 8-year career with the then Oakland Raiders, also with the Arizona Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints. Shaughnessy ready.
He's one of the better athletes on this club, too. They talk about him. He's another 5-tool type player. There's a lot of talent on this Chandler ball club showing up here in this West Regional.
The 1-0. Jumps that one right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Shaughnessy, Barrett's dad, by the way, currently a Phoenix firefighter.
Gotta love that. Still just working in the community and doing great things. That's awesome.
Yep. Throw it inside, 2-1. Chandler, Arizona, in the Phoenix suburbs, the East Valley. Pretty much just a straight shot right down I-10. Just pick it up and just head west about 350 miles and you'll get here.
Yeah, Phoenix suburb, about what, 15-ish miles outside of Phoenix?
Ish. 3 balls, 1 strike. Chandler National has done good things in this event, but it's been a while. We'll talk more about that later on in the show. The 3-1 pitch to Shaughnessy. That's ball 4. There's a bit more on Chandler, Arizona. Chandler National played in the 2007 Little League World Series. They also won the West back in 2003 as well. Notable people from the city of Chandler, including Cody Bellinger. How about that?
One that should be pretty familiar in this area, right?
Yes, indeed. Swing and miss by Mason Muller for strike 1.
Of course, Cody was one of those guys who came up and made a splash with the Dodgers. I believe won a NL MVP with the Dodgers as well. Before moving on from there, he's had a really good big league career and obviously still a part of what the New York Yankees are doing right now. So
yep.
There you go.
No balls, 1 strike. Chases that one, 0-2. That one tailed away.
See if Mason will be able to shorten up here and kind of try to live in the middle of the field to find himself a knock there. 2 big swings early on in this at-bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2.
That 2007 Chandler National Little League team that won the West region, by the way, was the last Arizona team to win this region. Inside, trying to find it, holds on to the ball while Shaughnessy heads to second. That was Po'okela Leventhal working behind the dish.
Okay, guys.
Now to talk to his pitcher.
Okay, guys.
Drew Breivogel, the manager of the Arizona team. I like what he said about his squad. He said, look, we have some dogs, and we're ready to bite. So it sounds like he's feeling confident about things coming into this week's event. The 2-2. Reaches out, tap to third, the throw to first, gets the out there. And the lead runner heads over to third.
It's a really good job of charging this baseball, making the play on the run, right? Picking it on the run by Kapa'a, making the throw across, nice strike across, and making sure you get that one out. And now you're sitting here with 2 outs, and you just need a play at first base to get you out of the inning. It's a really good job on what could easily be a tough play if you let that ball stay back and let that ball play you and bounce and get you a bad hop.
Camden Burke at the plate, with Barrett Shaughnessy at third. This one is hit to right center field. That hits the wall. Shaughnessy scores easily. Burke in with a stand-up double, and Arizona's up 1-0. Cam Burke says, let a big dog eat.
And Camden Burke showing up here in the first inning. He takes that first pitch. He gets a elevated pitch right over the middle of the plate and does a great job of letting it travel and hammering it to right center. One hops the wall and puts Chandler on the board early on in this ballgame with a nice double to right center.
Arizona on the board first. He's up Jake Pallett. Jake calls Little League the OG opportunity to learn, play, and develop as a young player. Burke at second. The 1-0. That one is smashed to right. Burke given the green light. The throw. The tag. Got it. Side retired. Terrific throw from right field. And it remains a 1-0 game. What a rifle from Rush Pegler.
Beautiful throw coming up the line, is able to catch it, make a tag, and we got it out. We got a ball game, folks. 1-0 going into the second.
Little League Baseball Regionals continue with Little League Around the Bases, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Our whip-around coverage of every region is hosted by Matt Schick and Mike Rooney. Saturday and Sunday from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern and streaming live on ESPN+. We saw a shot of the Ice Cream Man. He might be one of the more popular folks in this building. Triple-degree temperatures in San Bernardino, and the action's been pretty hot in this one so far. 1-0, Arizona leads. Top of the second about to begin. Bubba Kuha'ulua stepping up to the plate. Smack to first. Easy play for Kapa'a. One gone. Well, Muller threw 25 pitches in that first inning. If he can get quicker at bats like that, that might bode well for how long he's able to go in this game.
That definitely would help him and obviously help the staff out as well. Don't get anything wrong about it. He struck out the side in the first inning, but you would like to do it a little more economically than to 25 pitches that he had to throw. Getting a ground out on the first pitch of the next inning would be a big part of it.
First pitch to Rush. There's a ball. Rush made that big throw from right. 9-2 put out for the third out of the last half inning. I always love a good outfield assist.
Love it. Love it.
Always warms my heart.
I like seeing the boys let it go from the outfield. And you saw it this past inning. It was a beautiful throw. Even better play at home by coming up the line a little bit, being able to stab it. You see him, it's kind of a do-or-die situation. Just let it go, young fella. Not too high. Cuttable if you need it. It's a really good throw.
Meanwhile, this is a really good pitch by Muller. Swing and a miss, strike 3. K number 4.
He's feeling it. This is a better job, obviously. Working quicker. See if you can finish out this inning. That'll be a big help going forward.
Here comes Croy Balmores to the plate. Croy hit the go-ahead single against Honolulu Little League in the state championship game. So he came through in a monster way that day. Sends this one to second. Quick throw to first. Side retired. 25 pitches for Muller in the first. Just 6 here in the second. 1-0 Arizona with the lead. Well, about 19 years ago, the man on your left side of the screen was in one of these very dugouts here at Al Houghton Stadium. Cody Bellinger played for Chandler National Little League, played in the 2007 Little League World Series that year. And hey, if you want video proof, here you go. Cody Bellinger, both sides. As a youngster for Chandler National Little League, and his current digs, his current get-up with his current employer, the New York Yankees. It's a local boy who's made good out of Chandler, Arizona.
Crazy how a lot of that still looks the same, that setup, that stance.
Yep.
Looks a whole lot of what you see like today, right?
Preston Estepona, the batter. One ball and no strikes from Doctolero. Low and outside, 2-0. Preston is a flag football quarterback, but he says he also likes playing volleyball, in part because it's air conditioned. I think Chandler, Arizona gets a little toasty from what I understand.
It's got to be normal for them, though, right? Like this is right? another summer day. This is probably like number 800 in a row. It's the same thing over there. But Preston, obviously liking to play volleyball and all these other sports is probably why he's so athletic. He's a great all-around player, and you can see it with all of the other things that he does as well.
Here, Kapa'a walks on 4 pitches. By the way, it's about 100 degrees right now in San Bernardino. In Chandler right now, it's 108.
It's a cool day. It's a cool day here. It's pretty normal for him.
There you go. There's the current weather, upper left of your screen. Griffin Greifzu, the batter. It's the first pitch outside for ball 1. And intriguingly enough, and you think about the different states that are represented here, because there are 3 different regions being contested here: the West, the Mountain, and the Northwest. One of the teams, of course, in the Northwest region is Alaska. And you wonder what they're thinking when they're coming down from Alaska, which it does not get into triple digits.
No. No, not at all. And, you know, a lot of those kids are hockey players, so they're tough-minded, right? But there's a difference between tough and actually being comfortable and understanding what you're in. They're not used to playing in this kind of heat. Currently, right now in Anchorage, 66 degrees, so they're not used to this kind of heat.
No. A little bit different. They do know how to do salmon up that way.
Yes, they do.
Actually dropped, the coaches actually for Alaska actually stopped by after we were done last night with our final game and gave us some smoked salmon.
Yeah, they dropped off some smoked salmon. They dropped off the mustaches as well on the team, trying to get back in that win column.
So Alaska back in the action tomorrow. A look at how far each of these teams in the West region came to get here, the San Bernardino. A 2-2 to Greifzu. Speed high. Count full to Griffin, whose coach Drew Breivogel says, look, he'll grind out every pitch, and we're kind of seeing that right now.
Yeah, he's the one that gives them a lot of professional at-bats, which is really good to have, kind of sitting right in the middle of your lineup to kind of push you as you kind of continue to go down the order.
Count stays at 3-2. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Runner at first, Estepona. He walked to lead off this inning. Down the right field line, foul.
Almost keeps that baseball fair for a big double, at least down the line if it falls. Wasn't able to keep it straight, wasn't able to keep it true. This at-bat will keep going on.
That ball was headed to the only part of the field where there's any kind of shade whatsoever.
And when you say like whatsoever, it's a
strike 3 called there. One away.
If you take a look out there, he said a little bit of shade. It is literally, I'm talking, we might get 20 feet of shade kind of sitting in that corner over there. And
if that.
Everywhere else, it's, hey, you're welcome to the sun. You're getting kissed by the sun everywhere else, and you can see that's all you got. Ain't going to be many balls being played over there.
No. Jack Shepard swings and misses at the first pitch. Jack's uncle played in the 1982 Little League World Series. Jack's uncle was representing Easton, Maryland during that event. That's pretty cool. No balls, 1 strike. Trickles away from Leventhal, but Estepona stays at first.
It's a good take there by Jack. Jack is the kid on the team that has the best eye. He will make you throw strikes. He will make you come into the zone before you can get him out and can move him out of the box.
Floats that one in there, 1-2.
It's a really good job by Dr. Lero by being able to switch it up, throwing the breaking ball, getting himself to an advantageous count.
2-2. One nothing the score, bottom second, Arizona with the lead. Now the pitch. Strike three call. Back-to-back ring-ups.
Dr. Lero, 2 at-bats in a row. You're getting to see him work that breaking ball late in counts, and they've backed up on him, but they've backed up to his favor. Kind of gets the hitters off guard, getting them to freeze and stay, and he's getting the call. And they're working for this Hawaiian Ball Club to get 2 outs here and have a chance to get out of this inning without being kind of hurt by that leadoff walk.
Shepard not thrilled by that outcome as Lowen Lopez takes ball 1.
Tell you what, if pitchers could really bottle that up and understand exactly how to throw the backup breaking ball when they want, how they want, I don't even know if hitting would actually be fair at that point. I don't think it would be fair.
Or possible. Fly ball deep to center. Panui tries to find it. He reaches out and makes the grab. Panui a couple feet shy of the wall, but he hangs on to it, and it's still a 1-0 ball game.
Celebrate, young man. Have a good time. Look at him. Make the play at the wall. Find himself. Give me a nice little fist pump and have some fun with it, brother. That's a beautiful job.
Arizona starter Mason Muller has faced 7 batters. 4 of them have struck out so far.
4 of them have struck out, and he's been able to use the heater and the breaking ball. But make no mistake about it, it is an impressive fastball that's been clocked up to 83 miles an hour, and you're getting a chance to see it here live. It is overpowering, and they're going to have to try to figure out some kind of way to either slow him down and or run that pitch count up to get him off the mound.
Yeah, you see the 31 pitches thrown through 2 innings. 25 of those pitches came in the first inning. Much more efficient, much more quick work in the second inning. What will happen here in the third? Let's find out together. Hawaii, Arizona. Squad from Chandler with a 1-0 lead. Great to have you with us. Troy Clarity, Jared Mitchell, and crew. Okela Leventhal swings through that one for strike 1.
I still love the aggressiveness that we're getting up and down this Hawaiian lineup, trying to get themselves in a spot where they can get to Mason, as opposed to just standing there and watching and being down and having to play defensive offense, if you will.
Well, there's that breaking ball from Muller that Leventhal was well in front of. No balls, 2 strikes. Got him.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That's efficiency at its best right there, huh?
3 pitches, 3 strikes. Here's
You will
how
see
it
this
finished.
electric heater up in the zone. It is just a handful to deal with, and Leventhal was not able to catch up to that pitch, and that's the first out of the inning.
Kai Saiki steps in. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Kai wears number 27 because it's Mike Trout's number. Mike Trout, of course, plays down the road from us here with the Angels.
Not a lefty, but that's a very good role model to have, if you will, right? Mike Trout's been one of the best in the 2000s. Watching that guy play and what he's done is, it's a treat when he's healthy and playing well, I can tell you that.
First ball that Muller has thrown in this inning. Brings the count to 1-2.
Tell you what, pitch is closer to being a strike 2 more than you think if it was just actually hitting the mitt. Kind of missed his spot a little bit, kind of back over the plate, kind of can trick sometimes the catcher and a pitcher. I mean, and the umpire, if you will.
The 2-2. Heads up. Count stays at 2-2 after the foul off, the laser off of Saiki's bat.
And notice outside of the ground ball to first, you haven't seen anything really hit to the pull side from this Hawaiian team because of how overpowering this fastball is.
Hit sharply into right field. That's a base hit. First base hit of the game for Hawaii.
And what a good job. And I think he might have heard me right there and said, Ed, I can get the head out in front. I can get to this heater. As you see, he gets the 2-strike heater, doesn't try to do too much. It's been a common theme with this entire team of staying within themselves and taking the small, compact swing. He gets barrel on this one, finds a hole in the 4-hole, and it's the first hit for this Hawaiian ball club today against Mason Mueller.
6 straight batters have been retired. Here's Ka'anoi Rita, but you can call him Unko. Strike 1 on Unko. Says his favorite food is a loco moco. Yeah, those are outstanding. I'd go with the scrambled egg, though, instead of the fried egg.
Well, he's trying to upgrade you, man. He's trying to tell you need to try a little something different.
I don't like fried eggs. Just give me the rice and the beef patty and the scrambled egg, throw the gravy on there, and I'm fine.
It's too much. You don't need all that, right?
I don't like the fried eggs. Very particular about my eggs.
Scrambled, yes?
Scrambled, oh yes.
Okay.
Make sure that they're scrambled hard. I don't like them runny.
Okay, all right, okay.
The 0-2.
Is this information that you give when you're in a restaurant, or do you just
It actually is sometimes,
okay.
yes.
All right. It's a fair question. You know?
It is.
I don't know.
Here's a fly ball to right. The grab made out there. Alex Yu. 2 away.
Good piece of hitting by Uncle. It was just right at Alex Yu out there. It's a very good swing.
So 2 away. That brings up Gavin Hull. Gavin loves how this sport challenges him. And yes, baseball is a very, very challenging sport. There is no doubt about that. Swing and a miss, throw back to first, back in safely. Saiki.
They're paying a lot of attention on Saiki over there, huh? You don't want to get yourself into a situation where you may throw that ball in the outfield and give up a couple free bases. You got somebody as dominant as Mason on the mound, and stick to getting that hitter out. It would be best case scenario for the Arizona Ball Club.
Muller ahead in the count 0-2. Taps it foul. Kauai Community Little League, Kapa'a, Hawaii, on the eastern shore of Kauai. One of the more scenic places on the planet. The 0-2. That's strike 3. Muller has the strikeouts going. Hawaii with the base hit, but not much after that. So a 1-0 game. Bottom third in just a moment. Chandler National Little League didn't have too many serious obstacles during its run through the state tournament. They won their first 3 games by a combined score of 35-0. And then they beat Flagstaff Little League 9-7 in the state championship, putting it all together, going in the right direction. And intriguingly enough, Drew Breivogel, the manager, says that, look, this, he saw some of these kids when they were 8 years old, about 4 or so years ago, and he thought then that, hey, if they develop the skills they need to develop, this could be a very dangerous team later on. Well, later on is now.
Yeah, very interesting, and it was pretty cool to hear him talk about it because he said it definitively. It wasn't a kind of, let me think about this answer. It was 4 years ago when they were 8, honestly. And he talked about who was there, what that team looked like at that point, knowing that they could have had an opportunity to play together for a while, and who else might actually be added in along the way the next couple of years. And lo and behold, they get to this age, and if I told you a team was coming in here scoring 10 runs a game, would you take something like that?
I'd be interested.
It'd be pretty good. And when you can do that and have a guy like Mason Miller, have guys like Camden Burke, it makes your team very formidable.
Pitch on the outside, count goes to 1-1. Alex Yu is the batter. Yu's favorite baseball player, Paul Skeens, who knows a thing or two about being on the mound. 2 balls, 1 strike to Yu. That's hanging out with his dog, Goose.
Will he be named Goose Yu?
Maybe.
It's got a ring to it. Huh?
It kind of does, yeah. 3-1. Oh, ouch. Alex is okay. He takes first base.
It's free.
Yes.
Alex okay at first. A reminder that you can find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the official handles @Little League. And don't forget to use hashtag LLWS. So Alex at first after being hit by that pitch, meeting on the mound like a Doctolero. Starting pitcher for Hawaii. Tristan Panui is the manager of Kauai Community Little League team. He says it's pretty simple. Just drill the basics and the fundamentals. That's all it is. There's no need to get crazy with all these new things going on.
These teams that come out of Hawaii are very big, and it's been traditionally a thing they do, right? They're very big on basics. They're very big on small ball, being able to move the ball around the field, being able to play station-to-station baseball. So it's not surprising at all that it's, hey, let's keep this thing simple. Let's not try to do too much. Let's not try to reinvent the wheel. Let's just play baseball, and that's what they do.
Throw to second, not quite in time.
Play ended up being a lot closer than what you may have thought going in, but able to make it down. You see the ball gets past. It's a nice, strong throw down to second base, and good thing the pitcher's throwing, or we might have a different conversation on the other side of that.
Yep. 2 balls and no strikes to Gabe Jones. Jones, the catcher for Arizona. And that pitch breaks a streak of 6 consecutive balls thrown by Doctolero. Jones said that he and 4 of his teammates went to see Toy Story during a break in the state tournament. And every one of them who saw the movie hit a home run in the next game. So if it was he and 4 of his teammates, could you call them the Toy Story 5?
See what you're doing, though. That's pretty firm. That's pretty firm right there. I like that one. Gabe is one of the best catchers. They love what he brings to this club behind the plate and, you know, also in the box at the dish. But he's so strong back there. He's a good field general for the team. And they're really happy to have him on their squad.
You see the Gabe Jones rooting section?
There it is. Gotta love it.
Roller to short. Check second. Goes to first with it. 1 gone.
It's a good job by Doctolero being able to get in on the hands of Gabe Jones. Gets the soft contact for the ground ball out. We got an out here in an inning.
Toy Story 5, I believe, is still in theaters, by the way.
I think you're right. Toy Story 5.
Alex Flores, the bottom of the Arizona order. Fastball, Doctolero in there, called strike 1. Coaches for Arizona say that Alex probably has the best glove on the team. The 0-1. Hit to second. And out at first with Yu heading over to third.
It's a really good job by Doctolero getting runners on, getting them to second base, and being able to induce 2 ground balls to get him to 2 outs. And now it's, can you finish the job as this lineup has kind of turned over here, and you got to go back to the top and get the out to do it.
Rylan Schrader struck out swinging in the first, taps this one to short. Long way to go, long way to throw, and he got him. Nice work at short. And that retires the side. Leadoff hit by pitch does not come around the score, and it's still 1-0.
And what you see here to end the inning, we got Sugar Shane at shortstop, ranging to his right, being able to set his feet, making a strong throw to end the inning, and they get out of it unscathed.
While we were away, there was a challenge by Arizona as to whether Rylan Schrader was actually thrown out at first. That was the call on the field. Umpires just finished taking a look at that sequence, which you'll look at here, and you'll see why it's just been announced that that call on the field is standing.
Yeah, you can tell it was bang, bang play, but I thought they got it right on the field, and the replay goes and shows exactly that. It's a good job.
Schrader out by about a half step. So that is an unsuccessful challenge for Arizona. They can only have one more unsuccessful one during regulation. And if they don't, then they don't have any challenges or opportunities to challenge for the remainder of regulation. 1-0. We head to the top of the fourth inning. We've got Chandler, Arizona versus Kapa'a, Hawaii. A bit more on Kapa'a. Population just under 12,000. It's on the eastern shore of Kauai. It's the largest city on Kauai. 113 miles or so northwest of Honolulu. Of note, it's close to the summit of Mount Waialeale, which is one of the wettest spots on Earth, averaging over 373 inches of rain per year.
This just sounds like a lot.
Well, to put that in perspective, San Bernardino, where we are right now, averages about 16 inches of rain per year.
Yeah, they're not made the same, apparently.
No.
Yeah.
Climates are slightly different.
You can't play much baseball in that place unless you're getting indoors. Let's just put it that way.
But beautiful, beautiful scenery on Kauai. Gorgeous island, all the islands. Anytime you have a chance to go out there and to experience what it's all about and to be a part of it, it's truly special. James Chandler, the batter, bottom of the Hawaii order. Shane actually has done some things on the mound for this team as well. Swing and a miss 1 and 2. He threw 11 strikeouts in relief against Honolulu Little League in the state championship game that put them here.
Definitely, and he's been a huge part of what this team has been able to do.
That one's fouled off, 1 and 2. Shane proud to represent Kauai, wants to shout out all the coaches, the uncles, and the aunties who dedicated their time to help him grow. Fouls off, 1 and 2, holding his own against Muller.
It's a wise kid, knows where to show the love at, huh? Shouting out everybody that needs a little love. I like it.
Well outside, 2 of 2. And Mason just kind of threw that one. He didn't pitch it, just kind of threw it.
Still 12 now.
Yeah.
Still got some of that knucklehead in him that you got to kind of get out as he continues to grow. Sometimes they just either want to throw it too hard, do a little too much. Got to harness it, get back into himself, and see if he can get back in the strike zone.
Now the count's full.
This is a huge at-bat for Hawaii.
Yes, it is.
You'd love to be able to get that first runner on in the inning, kind of put some pressure on Mason as that pitch count is starting and kind of creep up a little bit. You're getting into the middle of the game. This is a very big at-bat.
Outside corner. Paints it. Masterpiece by Mason.
Mason Mueller with a huge pitch right here. Watch him rear back and the ability to stuff and pitch and throw this fastball literally right on the black away, gets the call. It's a big-time pitch from Mason Mueller.
Shane thought he might be heading to first. Instead, he's going back to the dugout and shaking his head. Back to the top of the order we go. Kapa'a. Koga struck out swinging to begin the game. much of the team and the coaches of this team think that Kapa'a is the most likely player on the squad to go pro.
I think he's just a very polished player. He's a good player. He's a fierce competitor. And you can see just by how the way he plays, it's very calm, cool, collected. And those kind of traits really grow well as you continue to grow your love and continue to grow your ability to play the game. He's in a good spot at this age.
Smacked off the pitcher's glove, but the bare hand throw to first in time for the out. 1-4-3 putouts, 2 away.
It's a very nice play by Alex Yu here. Watch him get started going up the middle. As this ball goes off of Mueller's glove, he has to retrace and retract. He's able to make the play barehanded. Grab that ball, make a strong throw to first, and get the out. That's a very good job on what may not seem like a tough play. It's a tough play to make.
Gotta make the adjustments at the right time. Colton Panui walked in the first, was left stranded at third, but made a big grab in deep center field earlier in this game.
Great grab in center field early in this game. One of the highlights of the ball game so far.
Mueller has owned the highlights to this point. That is his 8th strikeout of this game. And Hawaii having trouble solving Arizona to this point. Jared, you had a funny feeling coming into this game that this might be a pitcher's duel, and through 3.5 innings, it has proven to be the case. An RBI double by Cam Burke, so far responsible for the only run of the game.
Yeah, it didn't take much to see it. All you needed to see was a couple fastballs from both sides, from both pitchers, from Waika, from Mason, and you could tell early on that if they continue to hold this, it's going to be really tough for both of these lineups to kind of get to them, and that has held true through 3.5 so far.
Need to keep an eye on the pitch counts. Perhaps Mueller is at 64 for Arizona. Doncolero is at 49. As we begin the bottom of the 4th inning.
And as we talked about that at-bat last inning that we thought would be a huge at-bat in the game, this is a huge spot for the Hawaiian team to shut down this part of the lineup. You got 2, 3, 4, some of their best bats in the lineup, and you're looking at a 1-0 deficit. If you're able to get out of this inning and hold it here, gives you a good opportunity to get back in the dugout and tie this thing up and or go ahead.
In foul territory, and the easy grab. At least he made it look easy anyway. Nahoa Carvalho Breed, the catch right in front of the dugout, 1 away.
Good play. Good play right in front of the dugout. Range over to it. Find your space. Get your bearings. Make the play and get the first out of the inning.
Mason Mueller coming up to the plate. Mason's a Cleveland Guardians fan. I'm part of you might be kind of wondering, he's from the Phoenix area. Why is he a Cleveland Guardians fan? Well, maybe a part of that reason, of course, there are a lot of teams that hold their spring training facilities in the state of Arizona, the Cactus League, obviously. Now, Cleveland trains on the opposite side of the valley from Chandler. They're all the way out in Goodyear, but still might be some explanation. The 0-2.
I'm going to wonder and guess if maybe one of the games he got a chance to go and see was when Cleveland came to that side, maybe against the Angels, maybe against somebody like that. And
perhaps
he saw maybe one that's like, hey, I like them. It's a great place to be for spring training with all those teams, 15, 16 teams, I believe it is, within a, 40, 50-minute radius of each other.
Thereabouts.
All playing. It's a great place. It's a great time. The weather's incredible there at that time of the year. It's a great place to be.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That is a big K.
Huge K by Waika Dr. Laro, and able to punch out Mason Mueller and get the second out of the inning. And listen, don't get too excited. This is on the way to the plate. Probably their best player, best hitter, and he's shown it early on in the game as he is the reason why they were able to get the first run of the game across the board.
10 straight strikes for Dr. Laro. And the streak ends there. Cam Burke, the RBI double in the first inning. Cam's full first name is Camden. His older siblings are Wrigley and Chase. Notice a pattern there?
It sounds like a lot of baseball parks I've heard of before if you think of the names in the family. But I could be wrong. Camden Yards, Wrigley Field, Chase Field. Maybe. I could be wrong.
Just wanted to point that out. It's something I had noticed.
Coaches rave about the type of person that Camden Burke is and how good he is with players, how much he's willing to help. And it's not just how good of, like he's a great player, and a lot of guys you see like that are kind of stuck to themselves, and he is the complete opposite. He's always looking to help, always looking to reach out, and he's a great kid. And they talk about that a lot, as well as what he can do in between the lines.
2-1.
The 2-1. Well, and the story behind Cam as well. Spring 2025, he was pitching on the mound and he got hit by a comebacker in the head. Actually fractured his skull. Doctors weren't even sure that he'd play baseball again. Well, there you see, he's on your screen right here and now.
Shows you a lot about the grit and resolve of that young man.
Dr. Laro thought he had it, so did half of the Hawaii infield. So it comes to 3-2.
Waika thought he had one, thought he was out of the inning. Now he's going to have to continue to do it. It's a really good pitch, driving that fastball down and almost gets the call.
The 3-2 pitch. Hard hop to second, and the throw to first in time for the out. Unko handles it at second, and it's still a 1-0 ball game. 4 innings in here in San Bernardino. It's a 1-0 ball game, and that would indicate good pitching, but Jared, both of these teams also brought their gloves to San Bernardino.
Also brought their gloves. Not a single error made yet in the ball game, and you can see right there, we got people being thrown out from the outfield. We got plays made with their backs turned to center field wall. We got a little bit of it all. We got absolute bullets being thrown across the mound. Thrown across the diamond from shortstop. It has been a defensive display. It's been a pitching gem, a pitching duel. It's a great ball game we got going here. Alex, you might actually have a little bit of defensive back in his blood, huh? See him range one way, put on the brakes, make the play, throw the ball across. I love it. I love what we got going here. This is a strong start for these two teams in the West Regional.
Both of these pitchers, like Dr. Lero for Hawaii and Mason Mueller for Arizona, just kind of staring at each other right now, seeing whom is going to blink first. Middle of the Hawaii order. As we begin the top of the 5th inning, there it is, Dr. Lero. So now those two guys are going to be staring at each other here for the next few moments.
Definitely. Dr. Lero will love to help out his own cause here, as you just saw the 65th pitch by Mason Mueller go to the backstop. Can they get to him here in this inning?
1 ball, 1 strike. Dr. Lero struck out back in the 1st inning. Leica says his dream job is to make it to the big show, to Major League Baseball, retire, then play old man softball and own his own company. That sounds like a solid plan.
He sees this playing out for a long way, huh? Old man softball. A lot of people think, I know what I want to be as a professional. He knows what he wants to do on the other side of it as well.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 9th strikeout by Mason Mueller.
And here is Mason Mueller climbing the ladder again with that heater late in the count. That's just so much to be able to deal with. It is so tough to be able to get up there, but it looks so good as a hitter.
Yep.
And that's the problem with it.
Yep. Looks good. You think you can make some contact on it? Nope.
Until you're walking back to the dugout.
Carvalho Breed. Where's number 14? Because he was born in 2014. And suddenly I'm starting to feel very, very old. 1-1.
Born in 2014. Whew. Got a lot of life ahead of you, young man.
Got Ty's older than him, but 1-1. Going outside, 2-1. Hawaii has been successful as a state in this event, in this postseason. The count goes to 2-2. Since 2001, Hawaii has won the West 8 times, including Honolulu Little League last year. It has also won it all in Williamsport 3 times since 2001. Honolulu Little League, the most recent, that was 4 years ago. So Hawaii has consistently fielded some of the most dangerous and some of the best teams that are in this tournament from coast to coast. That's a whistling foul ball.
Watch out.
Stays at 3-2.
Wake the dugout up over there.
Long at bat. Fouled off again. It's pitch number 75. Keep in mind that Mueller threw 25 pitches alone in the 1st inning. He's been under 20 pitches in every other inning since. Foul off. Of course, the limit is 85 on this level.
Mind you, the limit being 85, we're now in the top of the 5th. He's got 9 more pitches that he can throw with a 1-0 ball game. This is a big at bat by being able to spoil and make him keep throwing pitches, because you can't go past that limit, right? And if you get an opportunity to get off the mound, get him off the mound, you may have a chance to get on the board at that point.
Can't start a new batter after the 85 pitch limit.
Could finish the at bat.
Right. And the way this at-bat is going, I'm not so sure.
You might not get to the next hitter.
Longest at-bat of this entire region so far, with the 10th pitch coming up. And a quick reminder of the pitching eligibility rules in Little League Baseball and the ramifications of throwing as many pitches as Mueller appears to be on track to do. Keep in mind, the team that does not win this game plays tomorrow. And the winner plays again on Tuesday. The 3-2. Strike 3 call.
If he's able to get the job done today, it works to, obviously, this Chandler team's success of what they're going to do here. But that's a great job over there at bat. He's just battling. He sticks with the fastball. He's able to place it down and away, and there is absolutely nothing you can do with that pitch.
Mueller's retired 7 straight. Baba Kuha'ulua. Fouled off the fist. And mentioned earlier in the show, the Kapa'a Community Little League team that came here in 1990. Bubba's uncle Bryson was on that team.
Gotta love that, a little family ties to this event.
Just misses off the corner. 1-1. In the air to center. Drops in front of Shaughnessy. Only the second base hit allowed this afternoon.
Look at Bubba. Just getting bat on it. Having the ability to dump it. Having the ability to be strong enough. Dump it out there in the center field. And you're looking at what could very well be the last hitter for Mason Mueller as he's about to step in the box. That's a very good job. Very good at bat. See if you can make it different for him, make it a little tougher for him after all of that work you've seen them do in the box.
Josh Pegader 0-1 at the plate, but had an outfield assist in the first.
Rush has been a huge part, obviously, at why they've been able to keep this game at a one-run ball game, because without that play, it's at least 2 runs, and it's hard to come by runs when you got someone like this on the mound throwing the way he's throwing today.
Now that play's looming larger and larger as this game goes along. Look at Gabe Jones, the catcher, leading the conversation. Saying, hey, man, you got this. It's good. It's cool. Very warm wind blowing in from right, it appears, in San Bernardino. 2 balls and no strikes. Back to action. Mueller back over the strike zone. 2-1.
2-1.
Pitch number 85 coming up. So this will be Mueller's final batter faced. 3-1.
It'd be huge for them to be able to get out of the inning and give this reliever a clean and fresh inning.
Instead, it's ball 4. The inning continues. And the go-ahead run is aboard. Mueller's second walk of the day is the final batter that he faces. 10 strikeouts, and look, as dominant a stretch as we've seen so far in the early going from the pitcher's mound in this regional here in San Bernardino.
Yeah, I mean, Mason Mueller was incredible today, and everyone kind of knew it, that this is what you would get out of him. 10 strikeouts in his appearance has got his team leading as he exits the ball game 1-0.
Here is the day for Mason Mueller. Terrific pitcher for Arizona. Had it going right from the jump.
100%. And listen, the fastball was electric and it was awesome today. But make no mistake about it, he showed his ability to pitch by also breaking off the breaking ball late in counts. He was the complete action today for this team, and it was incredible to see what he's done. He's left them with a 1-0 lead. We'll see if they're able to squirrel out of the rest of this inning to keep it there and continue to have this lead going to the back half of this ball game.
So Mueller gives way to Cam Burke, who comes in from third. Alex Flores replaces Burke at third. And this is Burke's first look on the mound. Bit of a situation, 2 on, 2 out in a 1-0 game. Morris drops down the bump that goes foul. Morris grounded out to second to end the second. Croy's dad, Meha, was a pro surfer and a boxer. No balls, 1 strike. Catches the outside half, 0-2.
Just little quick picks there by Camden Burke.
Yeah.
Trying to steal a strike, and he was actually able to do it. That's impressive, especially at this age, to be able to change up the delivery and still be able to deliver strikes.
Tries the same pitch, but misses just a little bit outside, 1-2.
When you talk about that traumatic event that he had a couple years ago.
As that one is headed down the left field line for a base hit. Kahua Lewis scores, and we're tied at 1.
And what a swing by Croy. Balmores gets the heater down and away, and he knew it straight off the bat. Is able to keep that ball true down the line, and you see the runners making them left turns, and we got a ball game, folks. Check him out at second base. Hey, he's flexing so hard the knees are shaking. Gotta love it.
That is good stuff. And Hawaii may not be done yet. Go-ahead run is at third. Ha'ulua coming around to score. Hegersder is now at third. Morris at second. Okela Leventhal backs off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
For a group, it's really impressive to watch a group understand who they're facing in terms of Mueller on the mound and what he brings to keep the game close enough. And as soon as you get him out, you tie that ball game up. That's impressive. It's a really good job.
And makes it even more crucial that walk that Mueller gave up to Pegader, and it being the final batter that he faced. Could have been out of the inning. Instead it extends. Roller to short. And that retires the side. But Hawaii is able to strike. An RBI hit by Balmores. We got a tie ball game, folks. Don't go anywhere. This is getting really interesting. Opening round of the West Regional here in San Bernardino, Arizona and Hawaii. Winner plays Southern California. That game will take place on Tuesday. The other team will fall into the elimination bracket and face Northern California tomorrow. You just saw Croy Balmores, who had a big go-ahead single against Honolulu Little League in the state championship game. Balmores with the game-tying hit in the top half of the 5th inning. We're tied at 1 apiece right now.
Tied at 1 apiece. It's been an absolute pitcher's duel. You've seen great defense out as well, and you got two strong ball clubs who, if they get a chance to keep pushing teams into later parts of the game, you watch these two teams play and you feel like there can't be much better on the other side of other teams that they're going to face this year. So I really like what I'm seeing in this ball game. It's a shame they're having to face each other in game 1, but this shows you how strong this region is in terms of what they do and how they put out teams.
And who knows, they might face each other again later on down the road. Still got a lot of ball left to play here in this West region. A lot of ball left to play here in San Bernardino total, with the West, the Northwest, and the Mountain regions all playing here. Jake Pallett singled in the first, but that sequence ended with Cam Burke, who was at second, being thrown out at home. 9-2 on the putout. That was the 3rd out of the 1st inning.
You think that run matters a little bit right here?
Just a touch. The 2-0. And not for nothing, Arizona has not gotten much since that 1st inning.
Yeah, Waika has really settled in, and you've seen Mr. Doctolero just kind of go to work quietly in the shadows, and he's the one that's outlasting Mason Mueller, who had an incredible start today.
That being said, a leadoff walk might not help out Waika's cause here. But outside of that 1st inning, a leadoff walk in the 2nd that did not score. A leadoff hit batter in the 3rd that did not score.
Yeah, he's been able to dance around a little bit of some squirrely starts and settle himself in the innings and get things done. And you see him still sitting here with 65 pitches into the 5th inning.
Preston Estepona heading to count 1-0. Preston says it's awesome to be able to say, hey, you can watch me on ESPN. I can confirm that, buddy. So it's not bad. 2-0. It's been neat keeping an eye on some of the other Little League tournaments that are happening around the country, not just on ESPN Plus, but also on the linear networks as well. The Little League Softball Championship was held earlier today in Greenville, North Carolina. Caught a little bit of Alabama versus Florida in the Southeast region, and baseball regional earlier today. Check it out.
There you go.
Floats that one right down the middle, 2-2.
It's a really good job to be able to get himself back into that count. He had a 2-1 count. I think Estepona was kind of sitting straight on a heater there, did not get it. It's a really good job of being able to break him off a breaking ball.
Terrific play. Sugar Shane at short. With another fantastic play in the field.
And they talked to us. They told us, hey, watch him when he's in the field. He will make a lot of really good plays, and he does it at ease. We saw him with the play deep in the hole early. You see him range to his right and make that play as well. He's lived up to the billing of what they talked about and how good he is defensively.
Waves at that one. Greifswald. No balls and 1 strike. Griffin Greifswald struck out looking in the 2nd. Griffin the grinder. That's what he does whenever he's at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chandler National Little League off to a good start at the plate early in the game, but have cooled off a bit since then. Actually goes down 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Well, for great reason, too. Waika Doctolero has been really good in terms of keeping the ball down, mixing up his pitches.
And getting strikeouts.
He continues to do it, and this is why the start was where it was. But as you've seen Waika get better, get stronger, get more comfortable, he has been incredible through the back end of this ball game so far.
Doctolero started this half inning by throwing 6 consecutive balls. He has thrown strikes on 6 of his last 7 pitches. Jack Shepard at the plate. Shepard struck out looking in the second. Two out, 1 on. And swing and miss by Shepard.
It's a good job by being able to use this Chandler team's aggressiveness against him. You see him start the at-bat off with the breaking ball, but doesn't leave it hanging in his zone, knows he's getting swings, and executes, gets that swing and miss.
One ball and 1 strike. That's inside. 2-1. Young fellows from Chandler, Arizona. Where apparently during the holidays, the city lights up a tree made from tumbleweeds. How about that? And they light a big downtown park there in central Chandler.
I did not know that.
Seems fitting. You can probably scrounge up a tumbleweed or 2. 3-1 to Shepard. Now Shepard is aboard. First and second with 2 out.
It's a good at-bat there by Jack Shepard, being able to walk, draw that walk, work himself on the first base, and now they have another runner in scoring position, but you have to execute when you get to these situations. And obviously, runs are at a premium here with the 1-1 ball game. So can you get it done, as Waika really has been cruising through the back half of the game?
Next pitch that Waika throws will be his 80th. Loan Lopez, the batter. Owen hit a big home run against Flagstaff for the league in the state championship game. As you look at Waika, time called. And now a visit to the mound. Crucial to note, with 2 outs on the board here, Arizona's run in the first came with 2 outs. Hawaii's run in the 5th also came with 2 outs. Doctolero, a good day overall. Probably a couple more walks than he would prefer. And look, it's not, you're not going to have his flashy performance. You're not going to match Mason Mueller flash for flash, I guess, in a sense, when Mueller's striking out guys left and right, ending up with 10 Ks to finish out his day. But Doctolero steadily getting guys out, especially in the middle portion of this game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It ain't easy to go out there and match in terms of what Mason Mueller can do with the fastball and how hard he throws and his ability to throw strikes. But what you've seen from Waika Doctolero today, I think, has been awesome, right? Maybe a walk or 2 more than what he really wanted to do, but his ability to keep them at bay when you're down 1-0 and to keep them there so they can kind of keep plugging away, and then they finally get Mason out, and he's been able to tie the game. So now you see him leaving. We got a ball game, folks. It's 1-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Don't go too far. We'll be right back.
We've seen Shane Chandler make terrific plays at short, but now he has moved to the mound in a crucial situation here. 2 outs, bottom 5th of a tie game with runners at first and second. Shane has gotten the job done before in relief. An 11 strikeout performance against Honolulu Little League in relief in the state championship game. Asked to keep Chandler National Little League out of Arizona at bay here. He starts off Lowen Lopez with a strike.
Yeah, 11 strikeouts in relief. It's not a surprise you see him coming out of the pen first here to try to keep this game exactly at a 1-1 spot.
Lopez says you can't go wrong with a good burrito. I would back that up wholeheartedly.
I'm a burrito bowl guy myself. Yeah, I think I like the bowl a little bit better than the actual burrito.
Okay. Just give me the tortilla. It'll work.
With the fried egg? No.
No. The 2-1. I mean, breakfast burritos are a huge thing, certainly in Tucson. I'm not sure exactly how big they are in Phoenix, but certainly in Tucson, that's what you do for breakfast when you're in Tucson. So
I feel like the breakfast burrito has made its way around the States. I think it's a very popular item for places that have brunch and breakfast these days.
Yeah, not my favorite way to go, but you know. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Lowen Lopez. 2 on, 2 out. High fly ball, right field, off the wall. Arizona's back in the lead as 2 come in.
Lowen Lopez, show off, young man. He gets the hanging breaking ball, and I think he thought he may have gotten all of that one. He didn't, but what he does get is a nice short hop double to right field, scoring his boys and putting this Chandler Little League team back out in front. What a great swing there. Not missing that hanging breaking ball that he got.
Every run in this game has been scored with 2 outs. And this is especially crucial. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Opposite field fouled off Alex Yu, who was hit by a pitch to lead off the 3rd. Lopez, a big home run in the state championship game. 2-run double here. And Yu is hit for the 2nd time this afternoon.
You took one off the helmet, takes one off the shoulder, and he isn't even, I don't know if you noticed, he's a statue in the box. He hasn't even thought about moving out of the way. That's a tough young man. Tough little dude right there.
Yeah, Shane Chandler's teammates saying, hey, stay in it. We need you, partner. Brings up Gabe Jones. 1st and 2nd, 2 out. Jones with a ground out in the 3rd. His post-game routine is eating half a breakfast burrito and taking an Epsom salt bath. That's his post-game routine.
Got to keep the joints right, you know? Squatting all day, I got to keep the joints right, man.
He is a catcher.
Yeah. Got to get ready. See the Gabe Jones fan club back in action, back active down the line. I like it. Never miss an opportunity.
Hit softly to short, clutches, and then throws to first. Kanui, the new shortstop, gets the throw over to first to retire the side. But a 2-run double by Lowen Lopez looming large. And Arizona taking a 3-1 lead to the 6th. We thought this would be a terrific game, and so far it has been. Right now, a 2-run double by Loan Lopez is the difference in this game. Arizona taking a 3-1 lead to the top of the 6th. It is the 9, 10, and 11 batters due up for Hawaii in this frame, beginning with Kai Saiki. Arizona open to close it down. Cam Burke on the mound. Winner faces Southern California on Tuesday. Other team falls into the elimination bracket. They will play Northern California tomorrow.
Saiki's 1 for 1 on the day. They really could use him starting this thing off and getting on board and being that leadoff batter.
Well outside from Burke, 1-0. Now 2-0. Hawaii has had close games in its postseason run. Squeaked out a 1-run win over Central East Maui in the state tournament. Lost to Honolulu Little League in the opening round of the state tournament, 7-6 in 7 innings. And then beat Honolulu Little League by 1 run twice to close out state. 3-1. 3-2.
Interesting decision to have the green light and swing away at that 3-0 pitch. It was probably a ball and probably 3-1 as well, and you could very well have a run on first base instead. It's a full count here.
He finds a way on base. Coaxes the walk.
Works out in their favor, but boy, that could have been a big mistake had it gone the other way and gotten yourself to the first out of the inning.
Brings up Unco. Rita flew out to right in the 3rd. Tries outside, doesn't get it.
Yeah, Cam Burke is a little bit kind of flying open, leaving these things arm side and kind of arm side high. He needs to get back to finishing through that catcher just like he did right here if he's going to get this thing finished out in the top of the 6th inning.
It's the first time Hawaii has had its leadoff batter reach base today. Two and one. Saiki at first. Rita at the plate would be the tying run. Showing bunt. Bounces behind Jones, behind the dish, 2-2.
Very interesting decision. Understand, you're down 2 runs at this point. Getting 1 run won't do much for you. Moving the runner to get 1 run, it's not going to do a ton for you. So I'm surprised that that's what we went with here. I think they're in a spot where they need to swing away and manufacture the runs that way.
Although Burke now has run the count full.
3-2.
3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Back-to-back walks. And the tying run is on base.
And if you're Chandler, this is exactly what you didn't want at this point, which is to give those first 2 runners an opportunity to get on without them having to put a baseball in play. And now, I think this Hawaii team is in a spot where if you did choose to, right, you're coming up to the bottom of your lineup. If you chose to want to bunt to get these runners over, it would make sense. I'm not saying you have to do it, but it would make sense to get 2 runners in scoring position. That way 1 base hit can tie this ball game and extend their opportunity to have a win.
Gavin Ho is the next batter. He is 11th out of 12 in Hawaii's order. Beautiful and hot day in San Bernardino. Gavin Ho at the plate, 0 for 1 today. Pitch to the backstop. Now the tying run is at second.
Camden Burke's got to take a big breath, kind of recompose himself and start getting outs, because now they don't even need to bunt. You just did the job for them. Those runners are able to move over to second and third. If you're at the plate, you get to swing away.
Tries to get the inside corner called and doesn't. 2-0. Hawaii hasn't had many chances with runners in scoring position. Goes around there, 2-1.
2-1.
2-2 now. Saiki at third, Rita at second. Just in front of it.
It's a good job of being able to pull the trigger. If he does his swing right there, you're really leaving a lot up to the discretion of the home plate umpire. So to be able to get a bat on it, to be able to foul it off, get yourself to another pitch, it's a really good job.
It's ball 3. Depending upon whom you ask. If you ask Gavin, he thought that was ball 4, so he has to go back into the box.
Maybe he thought it was ball 3. He was like, you know what, maybe let's see if I can try. Let's see if I can get it going. Didn't work. Come on back.
The 3-2 pitch. Hit high in the air to left. Grice turns and watches it hit the base of the wall. 2-run score. Gavin Ho ties it up.
Gavin Ho trying to rock this Chandler Little League team to sleep. The pitch before he starts down the line as if he thought, maybe I gotta walk and gets him another pitch, and does not miss. It hits him well to left field, and this ball almost leaves the ballpark. Runners at second, third, both will score. We have a new ball game here in the top of the 6th, still with nobody out, and Camden Burke is gonna exit as we're gonna get a new pitcher. We're gonna get a new arm.
What wild swings of momentum we have seen in this game in the late going. And the latest coming off the bat of that young man, Gavin Ho. Arizona turning to a new pitcher as the game is tied up at 3-3. New pitcher. His information straight ahead. Don't go anywhere. Top 6 continues. Hawaii has pushed across 2 runs to tie things up at 3. We're at the top of the 6th inning. Third pitcher on the mound for Arizona is Jake Pallack as he gets a look and will try to limit the damage here. Has a runner at second with nobody out to start his term on the mound.
Not sure that Chandler thought they would have to use 3 arms, but this big lefty closed down the state championship game for him. So he's no stranger to these moments. They're going to need him to show up big here.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish, and Hawaii is certainly helping to prove that, although its work is not quite done just yet. Slow start with the bats, first 4 innings, picked up momentum in the 5th and so far in the 6th. Shane Shetler, the batter. He's already ahead in the count 2-0. Shane has had a hand in the outcome of this game. Shortstop and as a pitcher. He is 0 for 1 so far today with the strikeout looking.
Shane gave up the big double last inning to right field, but make no mistake about it, he's been nails in what you saw him doing at shortstop before in limiting runs and limiting runners. And now he finds his way walking and on base here. This Hawaii team's in a very good spot. They still don't have a single out in this inning.
Yep.
And to watch where they are right now compared to where they came from, what they were facing early in the ball game, this has been an incredible test of resolve from a group of young men as they just kept plugging. Keep plugging. You're still in the game. You got to love where they're at now.
Back to the top of the order, Kapa'a. Struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 4th.
And I love their decision to let Kapa'a kind of go out here and do his thing and play his game. He's one of their best hitters. He's one of their best bats. And instead of saying, hey, we want you to bunt, they're allowing him to play baseball. Oh. I like it by Gavin. It's better there than being in left field. I like the play. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's not try to do too much. I wonder if he really actually tried to
hold on to
it, choke it, and hold on to it, and still just let go of it. But that works a lot better than them chasing it down the left field line.
Yeah, not ideal, but by far not the worst case scenario.
Not at all.
Dave Jones.
Not at all.
However, this one gets away. And Hawaii is in the lead.
I can't say enough about how impressive it has been to watch this group of Hawaiian kids just continue to plug away, continue to play baseball, and understand we got 18 outs. You got to get 18 outs, okay? It doesn't matter what they're doing. You just need to keep doing your job, and they've done that so well and find themselves finally leading for the first time with no one out still.
And another walk as Koga takes first base. Walk, walk, double, walk, and walk. That's how this has gone in the 6th inning. Every Hawaii batter in this frame has taken the count to 3 balls. Colton Panui swings and fouls it back. No balls, 1 strike.
He tried to leave there, and he almost did it with a huge swing. Got to it. Now he's going to have to dial that back a little bit. See if he can work and live in the middle of this field.
Fly ball to left. Bryson turns. It hits the base of the wall. 1 run scores. 2 runs score. And just like Gavin Ho a few moments ago, Colton Panui drives in 2. Crucial insurance runs. Hawaii, 6-3.
Colton, do it, young man. We got the lefty-lefty matchup. He obviously saw him well with the swing. He took the first pitch and knew it here. Drives this ball over the left fielder's head, hits off the base of the wall. And this Hawaii team has found so much late life in this ballgame. That's 5 runs already in the 6th, and we still don't have it out yet.
Well, and that was almost a complete and total carbon copy of Ho's 2-run double. Almost landed in the exact same place at the exact same part of the wall, but that's a line out to short. Shepard able to grab that, and finally there's an out on the board as Dr. Laro's retired.
Breathe easy a little bit there. Chandler, that ball was hammered right at the shortstop and able to make the play and get the out, but that's a great swing by Waika.
Carvalho Brady skips off of Jones's glove. Louis heads to 3rd. Five across for Hawaii. Or with a couple of strikeouts. Takes that one, 2-0.
I think this game really turned around and Naho was last at bat. Now, if you're looking at the box score, it'll say strikeout, but I think you're really missing the point of what happened in the game. Mason Mueller was rolling at that time, and he was getting close to having to finish his game. And Nahoa stood in there, gave you a 10-pitch at bat, was able to extend that pitch count from Mason Mueller, ultimately getting them out of the game. And at that point is when you see all 6 of these runs that they have scored. So a lot of what they've been able to do is because of a strikeout at bat that Nahoa had his last time up.
Kuhalua singled after that. This one's hit sharply, backing up, handled well. Schrader gets the throw over the first in time for the out. But Panui scores. It's 7-3. Ha'ulua coming up to the plate. Bubba singled and scored in the 5th. That was Hawaii's first run of the game. They've added 6 more since.
7 runs scored by this Hawaiian baseball team in the 5th and 6th innings. And it's been impressive watching them kind of just continue to plug along, continue to play the game, understanding where they were, until they finally found themselves taking the lead.
Well, and even extending your point, going back to the top half of that 5th inning after that 10-pitch at bat by Nahoa Carvalho Brady. And then right after that, Bubba gets the single as this one's hit to center, trying to find it, and does, makes the catch eye high. That's the 3rd out of the inning, but Hawaii does major damage and is up by 4, but we're not done yet. Bottom 6 straight ahead. A 6-run eruption for Hawaii. Put the young lads from Kapa'a ahead 7-3. Bottom of the 6th, bottom of the order for Arizona. Beginning with Alex Flores, who was the 12th out of 12 batters in the Arizona lineup. Again, a reminder, the winner of this game gets tomorrow off. They'll play again on Tuesday against Southern California, who really just gained momentum against Northern California and ended up taking that one 16-4. The other team will have to face Northern California for the right to stay in San Bernardino, with that game taking place tomorrow. Right now, Jared, you were mentioning during the break, the job here is pretty simple for Arizona. You're starting at the very bottom of your lineup, trying to get to that 3, 4, 5 spot. Yeah, see what they can do there.
That's the job. Obviously, you need 4 runs at least in this inning. So getting to that 3, 4, 5 spot is crucial to what you can do. But I do think that that's where they can make a lot of noise in this lineup if they can get it there. But you got to love what Hawaii has been able to do and how they've done it. If they escape this game by only using 2 arms and the way it's going, that's an incredible job.
Yep. First pitch from Chandler is a ball. Flores grounded out to second in the 3rd. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss.
Mind you, Chandler is another guy that has come in relief for them in the other times with 11 strikeouts and a relief appearance. So he's no stranger to these opportunities. Yep. They can go long in these opportunities, so don't expect for him to be someone that they're kind of looking to get away from. They want him to take him to the finish line.
2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes.
It's a big at bat here. Big at bat by Flores. They need every bit of it. They need him to find a way on by any means to get the rally started.
But instead, it's a swing and a miss. 1 gone.
Chandler had other ideas right here. You got a 2-strike. Look him twirl that slider, starts it over the outer edge of the plate, lets that thing just run away and gets the out. All important. First out of the inning on the leadoff guy, and puts this Hawaii team in a very good situation to try to close out this game in 6.
Back to the top of the order we go. Rylan Schrader, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Rylan spends his pregame time visualizing the game in the quiet space. So he'll be facing the 0-1 pitch momentarily.
Chandler's got that slider working, so I'd imagine he may see him use that and feature it, honestly, here through the rest of this inning, see if they can get themselves out of it.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Really good job. Remember, he came in, and I want to say he walked the first hitter that he saw. For him to kind of settle in and get going and doing what he's doing now has been impressive.
Coming up, making the running grab, it's Kai Saiki at 3rd.
There he is, throwing that breaking ball again. He kind of hung this one and left it up, but good enough to be able to get soft and weak contact, and they're sitting there in a great spot with 2 outs and nobody on, and the kid that they want on the mound in this situation in terms of being able to finish ball games, as he's shown the ability to do that so far.
Comes down to Barrett Shaughnessy. Strike 1. Shaughnessy walked and scored in the 1st. Touch high. One ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Now 2-1.
Barrett looking for his first hit of the game. This would be a good spot to extend this thing and kind of keep them in it and get this to the middle of that lineup and see if they can actually make some noise.
Arizona now down to its last strike. Mueller, Cam Burke, Jacob Halleck. Should their services be needed? Mueller on deck, hoping for the chance. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Got him. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's your ball game. Hawaii with a big comeback, dropping 6 on Arizona. Takes their opening round game. The final score, Hawaii 7, Arizona 3.
Gotta love what you saw from this Hawaiian ball club. The ability to stay in and keep fighting. And that 5th and 6th inning was a whole lot different than what you saw first through 4 innings in this game. And it proved to be the difference for them. They'll move on to the winner's bracket. I think both of these clubs are gonna make some noise going forward, but that's an impressive ball game to start their tournament here.
And you might see these two square off against each other again. On behalf of our crew and my broadcast partner, Jared Mitchell, I'm Troy Clarity. Hope you had as much fun with this one as we did. We know Kauai Community Little League had fun. Those young men beat Arizona 7-3.